Okay, so I'm back to this guy. And what am I going to do? I am going to, well, what I did is modify the tailpipe back here. It was basically, I don't know if you can see it. Let's see if I can put more light down more. Maybe can't see the punch in here. Maybe you can see the tailpipes. Let me see. Just kind of look like, but basically those ran through this piece here, right? So you can see where the hole goes, and basically that the third, those would be like the exhaust pipes, I guess, the opening, and the middle one, and that's already built into this is going to be the third one. It's just what basically the F40 has, and it was fine, but what I needed was that there's just too much black, and I'll bring up, you can imagine it's just all black in there, just kind of filling that out. And what it needed was a bit more white, because there is some white that goes underneath that area. And I'll see if I can flash up a picture right about here, right now, and just show you that, how it should look like. And so what I did was I carefully pried it out with this tool. Tried to stir because I put on the stickers and everything. I'm trying to preserve everything that it is and just work on one thing. And I bought one of these in this piece in white when I was last at the brick store looking for some parts for what was I finishing modifying. Gosh, I can't even remember what I was doing over there. Was it any of these, or was it something else that I built and brought back? Was it, maybe it was pieces for that. Oh yeah, it was the engine part. But anyways, and what I did was, if I left it white, the tailpipes would show up as black, but then everything inside is white, and especially the middle piece right there would have been white, and it needed to be black. And really, all in there should be black. So what I did was I just used some Tamiya acrylic paint, black. It's supposed to be a flat black, but I think that's fine. It doesn't need to be glossy like the plastic and the exhaust area anyways. And so what I did was just painted it in as much as I could, and then anything that kind of went out the edge a bit, I just took some a special Q-tip, not the regular ones, I think for models that's got a finer tip, and the weave or the cotton at the end, the wad of it, I guess the swab, I guess, is the tip is not as fluffy as a normal Q-tip. It's much tighter, and so because that would have been a little too fluffy and probably took and big and taken out more paint than I wanted. If I had like just a precise harder tip, and it's more pointed, I just dipped that in some thinner and just carefully just kind of rubbed it out around the edges and tried to clean it up as best I could, and this should remain. And I believe, hopefully it's dry enough now. Yeah, some of it's not paint in there, but that's going to be covered with the pipes are running through there anyway, so you're not going to even see it. So what I'm going to do is put it back onto there, and I'll show you how it looks like with it in there. And I'll tell you why I needed to do that, besides aesthetically it will look more accurate. And there you go. Basically, that's it. Hang on a second. It would have helped if I had pushed play or resume. So I put this in here. I'm not even sure where I left off. But yeah, so you can see, looks a lot better. I couldn't clean it up 100%, but for the most part, most distance you can't tell. But this is the exhaust area, so you're gonna get some sort of dirtying around this area, especially on a white car. And I'll see if I can push it up a little bit tighter, but so that looks better. At least it should be a little bit of, some of the air kit should have dipped down like this. If you see the picture of the actual car, and then this exhaust is kind of cut out in it. And that just simulates it better. It just looks better and a little more precise, and allows me to put this sticker, which should go right in there, and I just was talking to myself, but I just realized that they have a different decal here. This is Roberota. Yeah, but this one says this. I need to refer back to my image that I got as reference for this. I believe this is the correct thing that goes in the back. But that's what I plan to do, just add that. I might carefully, I mean, was part of this, but then it's a different build to this one. This one's more flat all the way across, and it's probably got more space there between the lights. So it's a wider build, I guess. And so I had to just cut out what I needed just to put Liberty Walk right in there, and then at least something there, and then maybe I can cut out. I was going to cut out like a length like this and just slap it onto the inside, but then it's like, do I want to do that? It's going to be, I don't know. It's like, it's kind of weird. It's like really this mesh pattern that you might be able to see on this decal. Supposed to, this is basically supposed to be a mesh open so that the heat and everything comes out through the back of the engine anyways, through the back. And yeah, if I just do this section right in there and then the rest of it isn't, it's like, it doesn't look quite complete. You just gotta imagine that that's a mesh even though it's solid. I might just cut out the little Ferrari logo to stick right in there, that corner. We'll see. I'll just look at my reference photo one more time and see. Other than that, as I mentioned, I was talking to myself, but I forgot that I picked up some black skates. They're going, skates, like ice skating. That's what they use for this build, right in here. And I think that'll represent like the aero kit, the thing that comes out the side of the front here that's on the actual car, better than this. But this is what I initially have to work with, and I gotta be careful not to grab it from the wrong spot, which is right from the side, because I do not want to mess the doors up. I better grab from the wheels, but anyways, yeah. This is okay. It's passable for now. But I'm gonna eventually want to get the skates, I think. But I think this is a solid stud there, and it needs to be like this has like a thing to peg into, so I might have to custom drill a little hole into that stud so that I can allow for that. Because otherwise, I don't think I want to get in here and take this area apart too much, especially the way I've already kind of started to decal around there just to get the shape of the headlights, just to give it a little bit more of a taper and an angle here, so it's not so straight. That's how it should be. Somewhat the best I can do with very hard edges of Lego block, brick pieces. So let me get that sticker on. Let me double check the reference photo again, but geez, I keep grabbing on the wrong spot. I don't want this to fall apart on me. Yeah, and then be right back. Okay, so where was I? I got that on, and what I ended up doing, so this is what it looks like. I think it looks pretty good. It's about as good as I can get, given what I have to work with. And then I decided, oh yeah, I needed to add these like red, reflectors that are kind of in the bottom of the bumper. This isn't exact. If anything, I think this white should extend a little bit more in, so that it's, yeah. Now I feel like I need to add that white to it. Anyways, but it's approximately, this usually rides right approximately below the last outer tail light, somewhere around there, within the black area. But these aren't proportionately, they probably should be slightly larger, if anything. And yeah, but overall that's the look that I gave it, just to help finish up the back. At this time I'm not going to put on the Ferrari logo, I've seen some images of this where they don't have it and some that do, and I don't know if I want to necessarily put it on or not just yet. I figure I might as well, since I don't think there's anything else off of the sticker sheet that I'm probably ever going to use. I think that's pretty much the last one, other than the red Japan symbol, which I really can't use, as well as that one that was I mentioned earlier, that goes in the front. But yeah, I think overall this pretty much completes the rear. I may or may not show it if I do add that one Ferrari logo right in there. And then I was looking, I was like, well, these mirrors need to have something reflective or mirror-like in it. So it was just all solid white. And for the most part, I think most of these vehicles can get away with that. Although I think Mattel does paint theirs. Yeah, see, they do theirs in silver too. And usually Lego doesn't. They, you know, you can see it's just made out of bricks here, and similarly designed on that Ferrari back there. As the same, just brick, but you can't expect to see anything silver painted on the inside, which is generally fine. But this was such a go. It looked large enough, and I figured I have like this mirror chrome adhesive vinyl as well, so I approximated a size to fit it in, and I think that helps out. Just finish that. Sometimes it's kind of lifts up. It just depends on how I handle it. It should basically stay down. But yeah, I think that helps. It's kind of complete the look from the rear angle here. Otherwise, as you see, a solid white block, which doesn't look quite as good. But yeah, I think basically the back is done, as well as the rest of it. I don't think I can do. Oh, I take that back. I'm still thinking of adding the skates, a set of black ones up here to just simulate the aero kit. But I don't know what you call it. The aero effects that would be up in this front part. And there's just still a question of whether I want to. There really is this black line that should continue to the front and wrap around to the other side, which could be a real bitch. Just the way this area is right now, it's going to be hard to find a good way to visually connect. Run, see where this ends up on this side, and then have it come. It has to angle down and around the lights and across the front bumper, which you see there isn't much to work with. I mean, it's going to have to go here and maybe end right there. I might not be able to actually physically create that black line across this part of it. But at least if it came around somehow across here and then up to this center part, that could still work. Let's see how important it is for me to do that. I think it could really help, but this helps shape the visually, because when I added this line here, this definitely is something you see on the car itself. Yeah, this is something that I think actually kind of, I don't know, right where to flesh out the side, but it just kind of adds some visual dimension, just to shape it a certain way and draw your eye and kind of piece together parts of the car that make it look more complete, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, I think, again, this is kind of an ongoing thing. I'm just kind of slowly addressing here areas, and then finding the time and the best way to figure out how to create something. Again, this is the best I could do with the headlights. It's just, I think overall, yeah, that works. Because if I did clear, it wouldn't work. I need something that looks set in, and you look at their headlights, it's basically black in the back with the headlights, but again, the way this area is behind here, you can't really truly make that look. So this is the best way to get away with simulating that in some fashion. Okay, that's it for now. We'll see when I get around to, when I get those skates. I guess I'll tack this and I'll probably likely have to custom drill a hole through the stud just so I can make sure I can have something to stick the skates into. And while I'm doing that, I may address adding that black line across the front somehow. Yeah, so that's it. Thanks for watching. Oh, there really should be a thing that divides the middle here, which is kind of there's no way I can add a plastic piece here. Well, there could be. I'll just glue something, but I really don't want to do that. I tried to simulate it by adding this break here with the black. It kind of looks like this arrow effect, where the arrow come through, but there really should be a piece that runs right through the middle here. And I'm not sure how to do that other than to maybe custom cut a piece of plastic and adhere it to that, which has a potential to look really tacky and not come out looking exactly the way I think it should. Otherwise, I think the other thing is to add some more black decals to kind of simulate, like, just maybe some lines, or if not, like a carefully shaped like triangles that give it a little bit of, make it sort of fakes like a bit of contouring and depth to it, if you know what I mean. So yeah, it'll look kind of like what you're seeing on this side, but here it'd be kind of a triangle, and then the other one will be kind of mirrored on this side if you're looking from this. But I think that would help sell it, but I don't know. It's not bad, but I know there should be like a thing going here to just kind of divide it, that part of it. But that's it for now. The main thing today was just to finally address the tailpipes, make that a little bit better, so I can put that, it'll look better when I add that decal there. And then yeah, I've been thinking about actually adding these red pieces or decals, just to add the details, to add that detail of the reflectors that they do come kind of down in the back. And actually, I think it was cool to add the reflective mirror, like chrome pieces right there, just to give it that extra, you know, this detail. All right, thanks for watching. Let's see what happens next on this one. Okay, I said screw it. I just quickly use my razor to cut that little Ferrari logo off what was left on that decal, and just stick it right there, which is approximately where it should go. It probably should be a little bit further away from the taillight, but I really can't do much more, and it'll end up in that recessed area. So, I mean, if I don't like it, I can always try to carefully peel it off, but I think it's all right. I think this worked okay. Again, this is the space and the pieces and the dimensions of this build that I have to work within. Granted, I did make some heavy modifications to primarily the door area. You know, it didn't have this vent here cut out. It was just solid, and it needed that badly just to really, you know, it's an F40. It needs that port, that intake right there. That I couldn't make into out of something bricks that small, so that had to be a decal, as well as all these other like vents up here on the back and these guys. But you know, that's just the way it goes. So damn, I think this works. Looks great. All right, that's it actually for now, seriously.